Marcus Thompson wiped sweat from his forehead as he looked around the Galactic University's physical education complex, trying not to laugh at what the aliens considered extreme physical challenges. As the first human exchange student at the prestigious Xerian Prime Academy, he'd expected the academic courses to be difficult, not the gym class. Professor Zixtal, a tall, crystalline being from Xerian 7, stood before the assembled students with what Marcus assumed was pride. Her translucent body flickered with bioluminescent patterns as she addressed the mixed-species class. "Welcome to Advanced Physical Conditioning," she announced, her voice resonating like wind chimes. "This course has a 90% failure rate. Many of you will find these exercises challenging." Marcus glanced around at his classmates, a group of Altarian gas-based entities floating in containment suits, several rock-like Terrans from the mineral worlds, and a few aquatic hydroxy in their mobility tanks. They all seemed genuinely nervous. "Your first challenge," Professor Zixtal continued, "is the endurance trial. You must maintain mobility for a full 30 standard minutes without rest." The alien students gasped in horror. One of the Altarians actually fainted, their gaseous form dispersing slightly before their suit systems kicked in to reconsolidate them. Marcus raised his hand. "Excuse me, Professor, but what exactly does maintain mobility mean?" "You must move continuously, walking, running, any form of locomotion, for 30 minutes without stopping. This simulates the extreme conditions our ancestors faced during the Great Migration Wars." Marcus nodded thoughtfully. On Earth, this would be called a light warm-up. He'd routinely jogged for hours during his high school cross-country team practices. "Begin," Professor Zixtal commanded. What followed was perhaps the most anticlimactic 30 minutes in Galactic University history. While his classmates struggled to move for more than a few minutes, with the Terrans overheating after 5 minutes and the hydroxy requiring cooling cycles every 10, Marcus maintained a comfortable jogging pace, occasionally slowing to check on his suffering classmates. By minute 15, Professor Zixtal was following him with a scanning device, her crystalline features flickering with confusion. By minute 20, she was frantically taking readings of his vital signs. At the 30-minute mark, when she called time, Marcus wasn't even breathing heavily. "Impossible," she whispered, staring at her scanner. "Your internal temperature has barely fluctuated. Your energy reserves show minimal depletion. Are you certain you're not using some form of technological enhancement?" "No, ma'am," Marcus replied, genuinely puzzled by her amazement. "Should I be?" The second challenge was the gravity resistance trial, performing basic movements while wearing a weighted vest that increased their body weight by 50%. For Marcus, who'd spent years doing weighted training at his local gym, this felt like wearing a light backpack. He watched in sympathy as his classmates struggled to lift their limbs, while he casually performed jumping jacks, push-ups, and even helped a fallen Terran back to their feet. The third challenge broke all previous records. The pain tolerance assessment involved withstanding increasingly uncomfortable sensations, heat, cold, and mild electrical stimulation. Marcus, who'd survived camping trips in Death Valley and had once accidentally grabbed a live wire while fixing Christmas lights, found the whole experience mildly relaxing. Professor Zixtal eventually had to stop the test when her equipment couldn't generate any stimuli that seemed to bother him. "Student Thompson," she said, her bioluminescent patterns now pulsing rapidly with what Marcus learned later was equivalent to a nervous breakdown. "What kind of world do you come from?" Marcus thought about Earth, the natural disasters, the extreme weather, the fact that humans regularly climbed mountains for fun, ran marathons in deserts, and jumped out of perfectly good airplanes as a hobby. "Oh, just your standard habitable planet," he said cheerfully. "Nothing special about it." Behind him, one of the Altarian students was Googling Earth on their data pad. The search results that came back caused them to immediately faint again, their gaseous forms scattered across the gymnasium floor. Professor Zixtal stared at the data pad screen, which displayed Earth's classification in the galactic database. Class 12 Death World, extreme caution advised, quarantine protocols recommended. She looked back at Marcus, who was now casually doing one-handed push-ups while chatting with a Hydroxy about the weather, and realized she might need to redesign her entire curriculum. The next day, Marcus received a message informing him that he'd not only passed advanced physical conditioning, but had been offered a position as a guest instructor. He accepted naturally. After all, how hard could teaching gym class be?